Greetings! We're back with another special report on A Crept from the 80's, folks. I am Chris Seaver, and I am joined with an extremely special guest.
Hello, I'm Chad.
I don't know. What do you call yourself out there in the ether, Chad?
In the ether?
Yes.
I call myself Chad Too Rad.
Chad Too Rad?
Yes.
Ecto?
Chad Ecto Young, yeah.
Uh-huh.
From
And?
HorrorMovieBBQ.com.
That's right.
Podcast too. Yep.
This man is world famous.
Sure. Okay, yeah, let's go with that.
But guys, today's lesson is about someone very special from the 1980s into the 90s. Someone who touched my heart and my fart, and definitely touched his heart with a certain motion picture that we're going to talk about. And we're going to talk about a few other things from this guy's, personal au revoir, if you will. We're going to talk about Fred Savage, folks. The savagery of Fred Savage from the mid-80s to the early 90s. And in particular, a movie that is... I don't know. This movie is like your... What would you call this movie?
I would explain it. I would describe it as your Fright Night.
Yeah.
Sean Robert's Monster Squad.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi, Sean. It is my favorite childhood movie.
Okay.
The Wizard.
The Wizard, folks. Look at this. Look at this art right here popping up.
It's so bad. Ooh.
So, yeah, we're gonna talk about The Wizard primarily, but I'm also gonna throw in some Savage magic, starting with 1987's Vice Versa.
Just came out on Blu-ray just about, I think, a year ago.
Yeah, I saw that. I need to get that. But I would say, for most people out there who are watching this, they probably know Fred Savage from The Wonder Years.
I was going to say WrestleMania 5, but you know what? You've got a good point. Wonder Years is one of the best shows of the 80s, I would say.
Yes, 1988's The Wonder Years. And The Wonder Years didn't really last that long. It wasn't one of those, it was only 6 seasons.
Was it 6?
Only 6.
Oh, really?
But because of syndication, it kind of felt like it was 10 seasons.
It did, yeah.
Much like, I liken it to, Mr. Belvedere had, I think it was 5? Maybe 5 seasons? I should know because I love Mr. Belvedere.
We all love Mr. Belvedere.
What is wrong with me?
We all dream about sexual things with Mr. Belvedere.
Oh, yeah, and streaking things on China.
Exactly.
What is it? Salute Your Shorts. Salute Your Shorts was only 2 seasons, but man, did it feel like it was 17 seasons.
It's
because Nickelodeon played that all the time.
It wasn't summer unless they played Salute Your Shorts. That's the kind of summer camp you wanted to go to.
And every summer, it seemed like, wow, new episodes.
Absolutely.
But they weren't. It was just the same 26 episodes over and over again. So... Wonder Years, obviously more episodes than 26, but for the impact that it had, not a lot of seasons. So
not really.
That shows you the power and the magic and the savagery of Fred Savage. Definitely my first exposure to Fred Savage. Like, in a huge way. Because I actually remember Fred Savage in Princess Bride. And that was, probably the very first thing that I saw him in. But it wasn't until The Wonder Years that I was like, oh, that kid from Princess Bride who's getting the story told to him.
He-Man fan, too.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of He-Man stuff in there.
Yeah. I think most of those... You know what's funny? Leonardo DiCaprio is a huge He-Man fan.
He is.
And
big G.I. Joe collector, too.
I think isn't he one of the guys who has, I think he dropped, a crap ton of money on one of the most, sought-after, most pristine-looking figure.
Eternia, he has,
something
the Wonder
crazy, yeah.
The rumor is, for those in the future, Leonardo DiCaprio was, the dreamy guy in every movie. But if you go on eBay, this is just incredible to me. And there's like a giant lot of like G.I. Joe stuff or like Masters of the Universe, and it gets snatched up. It's usually Leonardo DiCaprio. That's apparently, it's according to what other collectors say.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt
I
it.
wouldn't.
That's great. I love that. I love when you hear that, like, you know, those kids who are now man-children and, you know, have the wealth and the fame to do what they want to do, they still sort of hang on to those childlike and childhood things that made them happy. That's pretty cool.
And they were both that age where, you know, they would obviously be G.I. Joe fans or He-Man fans or even Mask fans.
That's right. That's right. So Savage, like, basically took over from, like, again, he did, you know, Princess Bride, he did Vice Versa. Wonder Years was huge. And then he did a couple of these movies that sort of became cult classics. In 1989, mind you.
That's
almost
right.
back to back.
That's true.
One of them wasn't really successful, but the other one was successful.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, it's the one that you love the most.
I know, exactly.
And the other one is Little Monsters, which is what I'm wearing right now.
From Fright Rags.
It is, of course. And I, you know, you have your feelings of Little Monsters, and I have my feelings of Little Monsters. I think it's, you know, safe to say that The Wizard is probably the more popular of the two. With fans, anyway, with nostalgia fans. But there's something special about Little Monsters that still tickles my nipples, and
It doesn't take much.
No. I mean, yeah, you know, definitely. Yeah. For me, it's one man's trash is another man's chocolate.
No, and absolutely,
goodness, you know,
absolutely.
It's just there's something about it. Like I think me and maybe two other human beings on the planet love the Garbage Pail Kids film, and it is bad.
It's no Teen Ape.
No, but you know, Garbage Pail Kids. Again, I think it's just because of the time when I saw it. It was a huge thing coming out. Like it was 1987. I was 10 years old.
Yeah,
collecting those cards, like, and then you see the movie, and you know, it's not it's not quite what you think it's going to be, but still, I think I hold on to those feelings that I had when I saw it the first time. And so to this day, as a 41-year-old, I can pop it in and appreciate the garbage for what it is. Truly garbage.
Literal. But you know what's funny is we grew up at a time where we got a G.I. Joe movie. We got a He-Man movie. We got a Transformers movie that like scarred about 1 billion people. We got a Garbage Pail Kids. We even got a My Pet Monster movie. We got all these movies.
My Pet Monster movie, yeah.
Oh, well, we're going to have to do like an 8-part series just on that. My gosh. But, hey, you know what? I don't fault anybody for loving that movie because it's certainly a product of the time, and it's so amazing that we got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, I mean, I feel like back then, it would have taken them like, all right, you know, maybe we'll make one in like 94. No, they just went right for it.
Yeah. See, I feel like, well, I mean, it's like beating a dead horse, but the 80s just were, it's never going to be replicated. The things that we were getting were so weird, imaginative, creative. The 80s, they just threw shit at the wall and was like, yes, like that's gonna be a movie, and we're gonna
do it.
Yeah, like another great thing about the 80s was like it was the time of like turning rated R films into cartoons and children's property, you know, toys and things like that.
Oh my gosh. The Rambo.
Yeah.
RoboCop.
That doesn't happen.
No.
Today. You know, and movies like The Garbage Pail Kids, that doesn't happen today. Teen Wolf, things like that, where it's just so like, what? And
you want to make a movie about a summer camp and show boobs? How dare you?
Yeah, I wish they made movies like that today.
I think I know someone who can do it.
But they just don't make them like they used to. So,
fair enough.
Back to the savagery of the savage. So mine, for me, was Little Monsters for the big Savage movie back then.
Sure.
But I did like The Wizard, but I gotta be honest, the big reason I loved The Wizard was because of the giant Nintendo commercial within the film.
You mean the entire movie?
Yes. The reason I still have vivid memories about The Wizard is because of those commercials.
Sure.
Growing up and seeing those commercials and seeing Super Mario Brothers 3 and the Power Glove for the first time. Like, that is what sort of still, like, I can see it. I can see me seeing those commercials and being kind of like, I have to see this movie.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a Nintendo fan, it behooves you to see this film.
For us as kids, this was designed for us. There was nothing in that movie for adults whatsoever.
Well, there are it's an odd film, and I wanted to talk to you about that because, like, they really it is just it's an odd film because it is catering to kids, and it is supposed to be this fun adventure, but there's also this odd and sometimes disturbing family drama that is basically pushing the story forward. And even like a tinge of, like, autism awareness and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. But they don't say autism.
They do not.
They just say that he's, like, mentally disturbed or something like that.
Because of the whole sister thing and all of that. It's just sometimes it can get a little heavy.
Fair, yeah. No,
and I think like, as a kid, because I was 12 when this movie came out.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it probably until it hit video, like a year later or 6 months later or whatever. But I think as a kid, I didn't even pick up on that stuff, really.
Right.
I was picking up on, I want this adventure.
I want this
road
Nintendo,
trip. I want this Nintendo. Yeah, like all of that stuff. I want to be badass.
Yes.
Like
Lucas.
This brother right
like
here.
Like this Lucas, huh?
That's what I was picking up on. And then as I got older and as I saw it, and VHS and then finally DVD and now Blu-ray.
Oh, who would have guessed?
You're really, you see it. I was like, oh, okay. Like, there's some heavy stuff going on in this film. When really, I just want the fun. I want the road trip. I want the adventure. The love affair between Jenny Lewis and Fred Savage.
Savage.
So that's The Wizard for me. Basically, the adventure and the Nintendo stuff. But what is it like? What hits you? What gets you in the heart?
You want to know something? I just love it. I think it's just a fun movie, and it's not 100% nostalgia for me. It's just the imagery of the movie is fun. The goofy lines are fun. Even the acting is cheesy. Like, no one's taken that movie seriously. Bo Bridges got on set and said, "You know what? This is about Nintendo. I'm just gonna have fun with it."
I think he takes it seriously for about 25 minutes. And then there's like a switch, and like all the adults become like giant kids.
Yes.
And they're like, woo! Like, Nintendo! yeah. Even
Dad,
Christian Slater.
Oh my gosh, Christian Slater in that movie. Yeah. Let me tell you, Christian Slater, this is, I think, around the time he started kind of his...
Well, yeah, it was right after Heather's...
Descent?
But
Descent.
But he started to like... he was doing these types of brothers, you know, like
even in Gleaming the Cube, he was playing a brother.
Cube and was The Legend of Billie Jean.
Yes,
he hadn't established himself as anything other than it's that kid Christian Slater, the older brother,
and then. Here comes a couple months later. Yes, Pump Up the Volume a couple months later.
Yeah,
great movie. But I love everything about this movie. You know, maybe there is a little nostalgia in there, but for the most part, I just... Whereas a lot of people, and this is going to be something where everyone's just going to be like, what the hell's wrong with you? But I know so many people who are like, oh man, yeah, when I was a kid, my favorite movie was Labyrinth, and when, what's the, Legend, or Dark Crystal, stuff like that.
I love all three of those.
They're great movies, but like me, as I got older, I was like, man, this is the movie that I loved, because it was there's no way this movie could be made in like 91, 92, 93, whatever. They had to get it out in 89 or else it'll never work. But it's just fun, you know? It's just a lot of fun. And there is a little heart to it, even if people think it's a corny movie. There is a little heart to it.
Oh, for sure. There's some heart in the movie.
But for the most part, man, it's just ridiculous. And honestly, I think we take movies very seriously. And this is just one of those movies that we can sit back and just be like, all right, it's entertaining. You know, it's silly. It's fun.
Yeah, that's a time, like, nowadays, folks, like, people just, everything is serious. Everything, like, you know, even critics are like, they have that mentality of, well, you know, it wasn't a good movie, but I had a good time watching it. You know, that type of, and that bugs me.
Yeah.
Because isn't a movie supposed to entertain you?
Yes.
And if you're entertained, wasn't it good?
Exactly.
You know, like, the whole, like, guilty pleasures thing.
I hate that term.
I can't stand it.
Hate that term.
Like, it's so bizarre to me. Like, if you like a movie...
Why are you ashamed?
Then you like it.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Why would you go around saying, oh, that's my guilty pleasure? No, bitch, it's your fucking favorite movie. Just come out and say it.
You know, there's it's shitty, but I love it. You know, like, you can recognize the flaws and the things that are wrong with the movies you love. You know, nothing is 100% perfect, right, other than Back to the Future. But, you know, there's not everything has to be, like, perfect or deep. And I think, like, you know, in the 2000s, we became this weird, like, movie culture where, like, everything had to be explained to everybody. Things needed to be gritty. Things needed to be emotional and real for you to, like, get involved into the film, which is so weird and bizarre to me. Like,
I think that's kind of why a lot of people stopped doing, like, teen movies too. If you kind of notice, like, after American, I'd say probably mid-2000s, we haven't gotten a lot of, like, teen-centric movies.
Who would want to watch those teens of today? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, fair.
Like,
guys, we got to go on a journey. All right, hold on.
Yeah. Pop those pods.
Oh no! Oh, those are tasty though. I gotta tell you.
It's just like,
especially in a tasty cake.
Yeah, they just
delicious Tide Pods.
And I think that's why, like, Hollywood apes the 80s so much. Like, everything old is new again. Like, they can't come up with, like, new stuff, so they just steal from the greatest decade of all time.
That's true. And we got to grow up in it, so that's even better.
Yeah, like, we saw it when it was fresh.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Well, you more than me, but we still got to live into it. So
yeah,
that's okay.
but I think of, like, when I think of the early 90s,
it's still technically 80s.
Yes, that's what I say.
I'd say the cutoff was 92.
See, for me, I say it even goes to 95. Like, I still feel like there's some great stuff right up to 95, and then there was this switch. There was this odd, like, movies got different, the aesthetic of things got different, the climate of things got different.
Everyone was angsty.
And then...
we hate our parents!
And then I sort of dropped off.
Mid-90s weren't that fun.
I was just like, okay,
I don't care what you guys say looking back, the mid-90s sucked. They sucked.
Hold on to the 80s for as long as I can.
We did get Independence Day.
Yeah, well, there's things. There's certainly
but
things throughout the 90s that were like...
As a whole,
wow,
though...
this is great. But yes, as a whole, I don't agree. And, you know...
But you know what we do agree on? Is how great Fred Savage was in The Wizard.
That's right.
And I'll say this. Right. Fred Savage always had that weird ability to play an old soul. Like, so when he was like, you know, maybe 2 months old, he was already like smoking a cigar and playing pool.
Yeah.
But he was always playing that more mature than everyone else, maybe a little condescending, you know.
Well, he shows it. I mean, that's shown in Princess Bride.
Wonder Years.
That's shown in the Wonder Years. Certainly The Wizard. And of course, vice versa. I don't know how much you've seen vice versa, but...
I have the Blu-ray at home. Yeah.
Okay, well, that, I mean, he, you know,
he's very convincing in his
wise
role.
Beyond his years.
It's true.
There is an old soul in Fred Savage.
He's always playing the... He's always playing the older brother. In this one, he's the middle child. So he kind of has to, like, hold things together, unfortunately. Because, you know, Kristen Slater... out gallivanting with all the hussies around there. Jimmy, he's out of his head. So now all of a sudden we have to leave it for Fred Savage, of course.
Yeah.
And how can you talk about the Wizard and just not mention the video Armageddon announcer? The greatest character in the history of movies.
Yeah.
A man had way too much ecstasy and he just gets on stage and starts screaming people's names.
Well, brother, that was cocaine.
That was straight up cocaine. You're right. It was 88
Yeah.
or 89. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go.
Yeah,
Jimmy Woods. Where's Jimmy? Lucas.
Yeah.
Of course, the icon of the movie, like I just said, Lucas Barton.
Who unfortunately had seen better days.
He didn't keep his power glove to himself, unfortunately.
Did not have the career as of Savage or even Jenny Lewis, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But he was badass in this film.
He was wrapped in newspaper the entire movie. Like, those shirts, those Vision streetwear shirts were nothing but newspaper. And his amazing, goofy denim black jacket was just tremendous. But the fact that Lucas is the icon of that movie is just astounding because he is such an asshole. He is like the Jack Nicholson to Fred Savage's Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
It's just so great. It's so great. It's so bad. But this movie, man, it's just fun. You know, if people go into this movie trying to overanalyze it, they're just kind of not. They're not really getting it. Like, this is strictly, it's strictly a Nintendo commercial. I get that. Fine. It was meant to be the big reveal of Super Mario 3. But and obviously the greatest Nintendo game ever. But
I disagree. But yes, it was great. It was.
You're right. G.I. Joe was the best.
I love Turtles 2.
Yes!
I love Turtles Arcade.
Yes! It's better than... Which, I was going to say, it's better than that first one.
Super Nintendo. I think it is better than the first.
Which they do play in The Wizard.
Yeah.
And for some reason, one of the weirdest scenes is when Kristen Slater and Beau Bridges are like sharing a hotel room, and he hooks up the Nintendo. Or Kristen Slater hooks up the Nintendo, and then he goes to bed. The next scene, Beau Bridges is awake playing it. He's like, I got the scroll weapon. The hell you did?
Yeah, we were like,
the hell you did? How did you get past that water level? You are full of it, Beau Bridges, and I love you. You're a great actor, but you're full of it. You're lying. You never found the scroll weapon.
Oh, and I love how the Power Glove plays the theme to Close Encounters of the Third Kind when he turns it on.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Power Glove. The Power Glove, to me, is just as important to this movie as Super Mario 3 because the Power Glove, I think, was introduced before.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really...
No, this was like... That is... That, look at that.
Yes.
You know, this was like... They are like making a statement with this thing in this movie.
It's so bad. And then you play it and it does nothing. Yeah. Hey, he didn't even plug it in that movie. If you notice.
No, and he kind of uses it wrong in the film.
You don't do this. It's all in like the fingers, isn't it?
But well,
I gotta be honest. 100% full disclosure. I never owned the Power Glove, but because of this movie, I always wanted it.
Yeah, I mean, it literally you still play it like this. I mean, it was all show. Basically.
Yeah,
it really was all show.
What if Lucas was the original Thanos?
He is diabolical.
He is, and he hangs out with Spider-Man.
Yes, he
at
does,
the end of the movie
with a sweet mullet.
Gosh. Oh my gosh, he could have been like Teen Wolf Jr. in that movie. Good gosh.
Isn't it like a Dayglow pink shirt?
He does, and it says Vision.
Really, really bright Dayglow pink shirt.
Oh my gosh. The amount of Dayglow in this movie. Oh man.
It takes me back though, because I was wearing that shit.
This is a time where all of us still looked like Mark Hamill. Yeah. And where you take a Mark Hamill action figure, paint it neon green. That's what everyone looked like in 1989.
Yeah. I mean, I had Lucas's hair in 1989.
My brother did.
I was 12, 13 years old back at that time. Mm-hmm. I had giant friggin' glasses and that Lucas hair.
You need to bring that back.
Oh no, I don't.
Oh yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Oh dude.
Yeah, I got some pictures that I would like to not have anybody else.
They're in a vault at the bank. Here's his number. It's going to be 4.
But, so yeah, The Wizard, man.
Great movie.
Now, did you have any, I had a crush on Jenny Lewis. She was one of my mini, 80s and early 90s crushes from back then. Was that a thing for you? No?
I didn't like Jenny Lewis. I got to be honest, God bless her, but...
No? Not for you?
No, not for me. She was a little too much in that movie for me as a kid. And I watch it now and I'm just like, I just don't like you still. I will say this. I think she's gotten better as an entertainer because she makes good music.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't stand you, Jenny. I'm sorry.
Just Jenny, get out of there.
You know what? To be fair, she was only 13, 14, so it's kind of excusable.
Yeah, they were around. They're both a year older than me, so we were all around the same age back then. So
you guys could have hung out.
Definitely,
Jenny Lewis would have never hung out with you, though. But you could have.
I know they were my buddies.
Haley was not my favorite character in that movie. My favorite character was, of course, Mr. Putnam. He retrieves children professionally.
He was your favorite character.
You know why? Because it was the most ridiculous. And you know what I was thinking on the way over here? He could have been that could have been the Kurt Fuller role. If Kurt Fuller was in that movie, that would have been him.
Yeah, totally.
But I didn't know that he was up for the role of Luke Skywalker. His name is David Seltzer.
Well, thank God, Mark Hamill.
Which brings us back to Mark Hamill, ladies and gentlemen. But he was just so weird, creepy, and I know that people were going to say he borders. But he is very creepy. But
it reminded me of Joey Pants from
Goonies.
Goonies.
Yeah. Okay.
Joey
I'll give you
Pants'
that.
Character.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
The younger brother Fratelli. He had that vibe to him.
He did.
In this movie.
I'll give you that. Yeah. No. You know what? Until you mentioned it, I could. Yeah. You know what? I could also see Joey Pants in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would have fit in pretty well. The creepy, slight pedophilic.
You said it, not me. Yeah. There's
Listen, folks, none of that. He just retrieved kids.
He retrieves children professionally.
Rescue, man, rescue.
Rescue would have been a good word, but man, that car he drove just really drove that point home, huh?
Hey, kids. Hey, I'm here to rescue you.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you could just take us to California. Yeah. Okay. Hey, I got nothing else to do. We're already there. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Oh,
what happened to him?
Luke Edwards?
Yeah,
I think
he went
on to be.
I feel like I saw him in other things.
Was he in Roseanne?
But maybe, probably. Who knows? Everyone did.
Well, there's
Jenny Lewis was in Roseanne.
That's right. Leonardo DiCaprio was.
Yes, everybody. So
Fred Savage wasn't.
I don't know. No, Fred Savage.
Beau Bridges wasn't.
You're well, thing, man.
Yeah, that's
Fred
true.
Savage was riding the wave of the savage, the savagery of the savage.
It's true. Yeah. I wonder if he break danced while he was on that wave too.
Oh, he did.
He was on a surfboard break dancing.
All in denim.
All in head to toe denim. Head to toe denim while holding a power glove too.
So why don't you talk about some of the stuff you're wearing that is very wizard centric?
Well, of course, I'm wearing the Lucas shirt from one of my favorite artists, clothes makers, whatever you want to say. 8-Bit Zombie.
Yes.
All right. Ross is one of the most cool guys on the planet. He loves the Wizard. He did a Wizard collection.
Yes, he did.
And actually,
you have that collection.
I do. I have that entire collection. Oh, my head is really getting bright. As you see here, he actually made a Video Armageddon hat to kind of look like the old Nintendo tournament from 1990.
I mean, that dude, like, he's made so many amazing things. I actually featured his Return of the Living Dead lunchbox.
Yes.
And all that stuff. I missed out on the Monster Squad one that he did, but he's got some great, I mean, the Saturday morning.
Oh, yeah.
He's got all that stuff. Actually, I have his link in all of our show notes every single episode.
You should.
So
you should. Absolutely.
Please check him out. He's got some great stuff. If you loved this stuff, you kid of the 80s and 90s, like, you're going to love his site. You're going to love the product that he puts out.
And he also did a video game, Thrash or Die. With his,
he's got his own character.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
It is.
And it's like a He-Man character.
But he's a skateboarder, guys.
Yes.
And you get to, in this game, you got to go to his website and download it. It's essentially, it's one of those like side-scrolling beat-em-up, but you're playing as a skateboarding He-Man in Dayglow.
Awesome.
Guys, why are you guys still watching? Go buy more of Ross's stuff. He always gets the best artists. He's an amazing artist himself. I mean, there's no words that I can use.
Check out his Lucas/Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh yes, Loser Lucas.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh, Loser
Amazing.
Lucas. I actually missed out on that, but you know what? It was so good. I was like, you know what? It's okay. Everyone else, that means everyone else is wearing one.
Yeah.
So that's okay. We have more Lucas. We have more 8-Bit Zombie. We have more Wizard. So I'm happy with it. But great guy. I definitely suggest checking him out. Him and Fright Rags are like neck and neck as far as my favorite shirts of all time.
There's a lot of great stuff. A lot of great artists out there, pushing their love of what made them who they are today.
Absolutely.
Childhood, growing up 80s and 90s, and you can find them. You're out there.
Like this Fright Rags shirt right here.
Right. That's right.
This Fright Rags. Actually, Fright Rags did a Wizard shirt as well.
Oh yes, they did.
This earlier just this year.
Was it a Video Armageddon?
It was a Video Armageddon shirt, and it was fantastic. Not available anymore, which is good, but that's okay. But it's no. But you know what? Let's talk about this guy right here.
Howie Mandel.
Howie Mandel. No, let's talk about this.
Or Maurice. Or Mike
Maurice. We can talk about all three.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Little Monsters. I dig it. Like the first time I saw Little Monsters, it was when it hit VHS, and I had seen a trailer, or it was like a video preview on a previous VHS, and the preview was so awesome. Like, I still remember it, and I'm going to put it up here as I'm talking.
Mm-hmm.
But
this spot right here.
Yeah, it's I mean, that gives me nostalgic feelings. But his performance, all of the makeup, Frank Whaley was in the film, who later went on to be in one of my favorite childhood, young teen awakening films for me, as far as Jennifer Connelly goes, with Career Opportunities.
I think we all like that movie.
I don't like that movie. I love that movie. But yeah, I don't know. There's something about it. The fact that like it also had Daniel Stern play his father.
That's
in the film,
right, he did.
Who was the voice of Kevin Arnold
right.
in the Wonder Years, which was so cool. And it had his brother Ben Savage in the film playing his younger brother in the film, but we didn't know who Ben was until
Boy Meets World.
But Ben was in the movie. Yeah, it's got the piss jokes. It was a little weird, a little gross. I don't know. Like I love Little Monsters.
What was the sandwich? The peanut butter and like snot sandwich?
Oh yeah, everything was gross. In the
movie.
It was
disgusting.
Like, Maurice was they were concocting some weird ass gross shit in that movie. I don't know. It appealed to the monster kid in me and
helped form you of what you are now. Like you love, and these. I'm not saying it in a negative way, but you love like silly kind of jokes like that. So it definitely, I can definitely see that helping you, kind of form your humor, kind of who you are.
Yeah, it was a lesser. And at that point I was making like shot on VHS crap in my backyard, and I had in '89 I had just seen Toxic Avenger and Bad Taste back to back. I rented them for Video Connection, so this was like a lesser version of like mixing those monsters and the comedy. And that's the stuff that I wanted to do for sure. Like going forward with filmmaking was this type of stuff: Toxic Avenger, the Bad Taste, even to some extent the Monster Squad and Night of the Creeps. Like mixing the humor and the horror and the monsters and all that stuff. That I don't know, man. The '80s, the '80s, man. The '80s.
The '80s.
It was all there. It was all fresh. It was all new, and we were experiencing it.
I will say, I didn't get to see Little Monsters until I was a little older. So for me, I don't really hold that
I can get
nostalgia.
it.
Yeah,
it's
kind of like
I can understand
if you didn't see like Goonies or Monster Squad, which I didn't see all the way through until like years later.
Oh man!
But I will say, I do have a lot of positives to say about Little Monsters. It's not my favorite movie of all time, but I love the monsters. Like you said, the silliness, the grossness. This is a movie that if I had seen at age 6, I forget it. I would have been the most. I would have been even more obnoxious. There's a little heart in there too, because don't.
Oh, there's heart for sure.
Howie Mandel's character, he kind of talks about how Fred Savage has a dad and he didn't.
Well,
or something like that.
it's definitely it's a friendship movie and loss.
Yes.
There's a lot of like lost talk in the film and saying goodbye and growing up but still holding on to that childlike wonder, things like that. That's all, of course, was appealing to me.
Sure.
13 years old, I was like, I don't want to grow up.
And at that age, people are trying to get you to grow up so fast.
Still to this day, people are still trying to get me to grow up. But no, damn it, no. It's part of what makes me happy.
If he wants to sleep with a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in one arm
that's right.
and a Punky Brewster in the other, he will do it.
I will. That's right.
He's done it too.
I see him.
Here's a question for me. Or for you. Oh my gosh. Here's a question. My Pet Monster inspired?
You could say that for sure. You could definitely say that. Yeah, why not?
Sure.
Let's
okay.
go there.
Let's humor Chad for a moment.
All of that was inspired. All of the '80s were inspired by My Pet Monster.
Even the first Meatballs movie that was in 1979, that was inspired by My Pet Monster.
Everything was My
Meatballs Pet Monster. My Meatball Monster. Huh, of course.
Honestly, anything like fun, monstery, gross was like awesome to me back then.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. I love it. Mad Balls,
Garbage
Pail Kids, My Pet Monster.
How great would a Mad Balls movie have been in like 88, 89?
Oh my gosh, please.
Oh my gosh. We wouldn't be talking about Garbage Pail Kids the movie. We would be talking about Mad Balls.
I could see Full Moon Pictures back then.
Moonbeam.
Doing a Mad Balls film, getting the rights to Mad Balls.
And making it in like a week.
Hell yeah.
Charles Bands' video, he takes a still photo of a Mad Ball and says, "All right,
actually,
do whatever you guys want."
It's shocking he didn't. With the love of tiny things that he has. Shocking that he didn't go after the rights to Mad Balls. Full Moon's Mad Balls.
That would have been pretty impressive, because we kind of got a Transformers movie in that Robot Jocks. See, he's making the movie right now, Charles. What are you doing?
Well, yeah, I mean, he couldn't get the rights to Doctor Strange,
so he
made
just
Dr. Mordred.
Which that'll be a discussion for another time. I prefer that Doctor Strange more.
Oh no! I love them both, actually.
Yeah.
I love them both.
Hey, I love the 1978 movie too.
I love Doctor Strange.
Sure.
He's one of my favorite Marvel characters.
Sure.
I love them both.
Wasn't there a movie? No, it was an episode of Wonder Years where Fred Savage. This is a weird thing to remember. Where Fred Savage is he's got a fat, obnoxious friend, and they're always hanging out, and the fat friend is always reading old comics and candy.
Oh, and that's a reoccurring character.
Yeah,
that character. Yeah.
Yeah. So for some reason I can picture him reading maybe Doctor Strange or something. I don't know.
I'm sure he did.
Oh, of course he did. Why not?
But yeah, there we go, man. The 80s. We talked about not just Fred Savage.
No.
And those movies and that television show, but we talked about the 80s in general, which is what this show is all about.
It is.
Folks.
We're here to educate.
It was great. It was nerdy. This was a great conversation.
Absolutely.
He loves the Wizard. I like the Wizard. I love Little Monsters.
Yes.
And just in general, I love Fred Savage, and I'm happy that to this day he's still rocking and rolling.
Oh gosh, wasn't he a producer on Always Sunny?
Yeah, he's a and a director.
Oh my gosh.
And he's still making stuff out there today.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's great. You know,
he busted his butt. I mean, good for him. And he could have been one of those like Dana Plato, stories where
unfortunate.
He was like a more stabled Corey Feldman, if you think about it. Because Corey always kind of had that like not more mature, but he was a little bit older than he, actually was.
Corey Haim, Corey Feldman. Where do you stand on that?
Who do I like?
Who do you think was the more talented of the two?
I feel like I should say Corey Haim.
I go with Corey Haim.
I think acting, he was able to get into things more in depth. Whereas Corey Feldman, I think that they hired him to be like the loudmouth, kind of the a-hole, even when he got older and he was like doing Tales from the Crypt. And
while I like them both,
I love both of them.
I feel Haim was the better actor out of the two.
And he did the better video with than Corey Feldman when he did that that video diary.
Myself and I.
Oh my gosh, I will watch that
Haim.
before I watch that goofy video where Corey's on a Segway.
Oh.
Me, myself.
Yeah. But see, we went off on a Corey tangent.
We did, which is common.
But folks, you love Fred Savage. We love Fred Savage. Check out these movies. Check out the show that we're talking about. If you're watching this, of course you've probably seen them. Mm-hmm. But if you haven't, seek them out. You might not have the same, love and affection and reaction as an adult.
Yeah.
To seeing these films, but if you still have that childlike wonder in you, check out the movies. They're still so much fun, and you're probably going to get some sort of nostalgic feeling out of all of them. Really. And
honestly, it not just that, but Fred is legit a great actor.
Yeah,
even when he was a kid.
He's so good.
He always did that thing where he like furrows his brow and his hair like goes up when he thinks with his eyebrow, and it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Takes me. One of the best episodes of Wonder Years is the Soleil Moon Frye episode, folks. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh my!
Again, I don't know why I went there, but I was thinking of Fred Savage furrowed brow and what he does when he sees Soleil Moon Frye in that show.
This exists, by the way, in Saver's collection. I really wanted to show this off. This is never touched before, never painted, never colored,
I actually
whatever.
showed this off in our episode, one of our episodes of the Crept from the 80s.
Oh, it's a beautiful piece.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful piece.
Love it.
I'm going to come by the next time, and he's just going to be sitting, coloring it.
Never!
I have a Mr. T one.
Oh.
I have a Mr. T one somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, never been touched.
Savor it.
Oh, I do. I do. You just don't take the tea for granted.
No, you best not color in that.
I'm watching you.
Yeah, you don't want to be pitied. You don't want to be pitied by tea if you color in that.
No.
Tea.
Oh no! Here he is.
Tea don't take no guff. You be you.
You color in the lines, unless you don't want to.
I pity the fool who colors in my lines. That's right. Eat your greens.
Eat your greens.
Drink your
milk.
Go to school.
Drink your milk.
Treat your mother right.
Oh, wait a minute, kids. Oh my gosh, we're going to have to talk about that video one day. Yeah. That'll be a teaser for the next time.
That was on a Saturday morning sleepover, actually. I put that on. Treat your mama right.
Oh, so good. So good.
All right, folks. Well, that was our special report on the savagery of Fred Savage and the Wizard. And thank you for watching. Thank you to Chad
Thank you.
T'Challa, to Chad.
T'Challa.
To Chad.
I'll take it.
For coming by. It Crept from the 80s special report, and we're going to go be all cool and nostalgic and probably way cooler than you. So, see you next time.
See
folks.
you guys.
Bye.
Stay bad.